In this video, without using table, find the value of tan 67 and a half. Now, you're not supposed to use calculator and table to find it. So now let's begin. Let me change the color to white. Now we know that 67 and a half. If you multiply 67 and a half by 2, you have 135. You have 135. So that means now let's say cos 135 over 1. Now, so this is simply saying cos 2 times 67 and a half. Now you know cos A plus B is equal to cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. Now if B is the same thing as A, we now have cos 2A equal to cos A cos B, cos A cos A minus sin A sin A. Now assuming B is equal to A, so that implies that cos 2A is equal to cos square A minus sin square A. So if we now say A is equal to 67 and a half, then that means that's cos 135 is equal to cos square 67 and a half minus sin square 67 and a half. So let's now replace this value with this value here. So we have cos this over 1 cos square 67 and a half minus sin square 67 and a half, all divided by 1. We also know that if you have tan, now if you have theta here, you have here 1. Now this height to be y, this is x. Now from here, sine theta is equal to the opposite all over hypothesis. So now let's use SOHCAHTOA. Now sine is opposite all over hypothesis. So now the opposite to this angle is y. Y divided by 1 is equal to y. Then you also have cos theta, which is equal to the adjacent to the angle is x. X divided by 1 will be x. Now tan theta is equal to what? Opposite all over adjacent, which is y all over what? X. When you look at it, that means tan theta is equal to y is equal to sine theta, x is equal to cos theta. So sin theta is equal to sin theta over cos theta. Now applying the Pythagoras theory, you have x squared plus y squared is equal to 1 squared, which is 1. Now x is equal to cos. So cos theta, which is cos squared theta plus sin squared theta is equal to 1, because y is equal to sin theta. So we have gotten this. So now that means cos square 67.5 plus sine square 67.5 is equal to 1. So now let's replace this 1 here with this value. So we now have this equal to cos square 67.5 minus sine square 67.5 divided by cos square 67.5 plus sine square 67.5. Now cos 135 is equal to cos square 67.5 minus sine square 67.5 all over cos square 67.5 plus sine square 67.5. Now dividing the numerator and the denominator by this cos square 67.5, you have cos square 67.5 divided by cos square 67.5 minus sine square 67.5 divided by cos square 67. We have all divided by cos square 67.5 divided by cos square 67.5 plus sine square 67.5 divided by cos square 67.5. Now cos square 67.5 will cancel this. This will cancel this. So we now have 1 minus. So this is the same thing as saying sine 67.5 divided by cos 67.5 all squared divided by 1 plus sine 67.5 divided by cos 67.5 all squared. So this is the same thing. Now we now have 1 minus, the whole of this is tan 67.5 square. So square tan square 67.5 minus 1 plus this one will also be tan square 67.5. So we have gotten cos 135 to be equal to 1 minus tan square 67.5 divided by 1 plus tan square 67.5. So now let me write this other place. Let P be equal to tan 67.5. Now substitute into that equation, we now have cos 135 is equal to 1 minus p square divided by 1 plus p square. Now looking at the quadrant, at the first quadrant the highest angle is 90. At the second quadrant the highest is 180. So this value, this angle 135 lies on the second quadrant. So you now have something like this. So here is theta. So from here to here is 180 minus what? Theta. So let's now draw a line like this. So what is the angle that when you subtract it from 180 it gives you this? So that angle is what? 45. So cos 180 minus 45 is equal to cos 135. So which now implies that cos 180 minus 45. Now, at the second quadrant is only sine that is positive. At the second quadrant, it's only sine that is positive. So this will be negative. So it will be minus cos 45. And cos 45 is from here. So here is 45. This angle here. Now here should be 1, here 1. Here is the square root of what? 2. So cos 45 will now be, now you have 1 as the adjacent to this angle all over the hypothesis. So you have 1 all over square root of what? 2. So, and there is a minus here. So we now have minus 1 all over the square root of 2 equal to 1 minus p square all over 1 plus p square. Now multiplying both sides by 1 plus p square. Now this will cancel out this. I left with there. Okay. We're now left with 1 plus p square minus all over the square root of what? 2 equal to 1 minus p square. So multiplying both sides by square root of 2, which I would have done here. So this one will cancel out this. You have minus into 1 plus p square. This will be equal to, open up this bracket, you have square root of 2. Square root of 2 times 1 is square root of 2 minus square root of 2 times p square. Now, so we have my minus bracket open 1 plus p square equal to the square root of 2 minus the square root of 2 times p square. Now we're going to move the variables. We want the variables to be on one side. So we're going to move. Now first I'll open this bracket using this minus 1 to multiply the inside. So minus 1 times 1 will give you minus 1. Minus 1 times plus p square will give you minus p square, which will be equal to square root of 2 minus the square root of 2 times p square. Now moving, now I want the variables to be on one side. So now moving this variable to this other side, I'm moving this constant to this side. Now we have this one moves to this side, comes this minus now change to plus. So we have the square root of 2 times p square minus p square is equal to, when this one comes to this, we have 1 plus the square root of 2. So this one is the same thing as saying 1. Now there is a common factor. You now factor it out. So you have p square, which is now we have p square, bring it out. You now have this to be square root of 2 minus 1 equal to plus square root of 2. Now dividing both sides by the square root of 2 minus 1, this will cancel out. So you have p square equal to 1 plus the square root of 2 divided by square root of 2 plus minus 1 minus 1 4. Now we use the conjugate of this. So we use the conjugate of the denominator to multiply the numerator and the denominator. So we have the square root of 2 plus 1 times, now the numerator will now be multiplied by the square root of 2 plus 1, which is the conjugate of this, divided by the square root of 2 plus 1. So this cancels out, it's still the same as this. So that means we'll have p squared to be equal to, let's open the bracket. This, okay, let me just say this times this is square. There's no need. So now we now have the square root of 2 plus 1 all squared, because it's the same thing, divided by the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is equal to 2. The square root of 2 times plus 1 is equal to plus the square root of 2. Minus 1 times the square root of 2 will give you minus square root of 2. Minus 1 times plus 1 is minus 1. So we now have square root of 2 plus 1 all brackets square is equal to, this will cancel out. Now you have 2 minus 1, which is 1. So p squared is equal to the square root of 2 plus 1 all squared. So taking the square root, in the square root of both sides, you now have p squared. This p squared will cancel out this. So this will now be, this is 1. So p squared will now be equal to this. Now taking the square root, p squared is equal to the square root of 2 plus 1 bracket close all squared. So taking the square root of both sides, you now have p to be equal to the square root of 2 plus 1. There's always plus or minus here, but we're taking the positive value, so we're not taking negative. So now that means tan 67 and half is equal to the square root of 2 plus 1. The reason why we're not taking the negative value is that this is an acute angle, and it is because if you look at the quadrants, an acute angle falls in the first quadrant, and all functions is positive on the first quadrant. Now, on the second quadrant is only sine. On the third quadrant is tan. On the fourth quadrant is cos. So since this angle falls on the first quadrant, the negative value cannot work here, because the angle falls on the first quadrant and tan is positive on the first quadrant, and also is negative on this other quadrant, and this angle does not come close to this quadrant. So the final answer is this. So minus square root of 2 plus 1. This is not a solution to it. So this is the final solution. So that is it. So this is the answer to what we just solved now. So that is it. So this is the solution. So this is the end of this video. Thank you for watching to the end. Please subscribe, like, in the comment section, put your comment there, and also share the video. Thank you.